Whoa, I'm live and welcome everybody to a painting show. We're going to paint. That's right. Best at Star Trek is here. Thank you for watching and let's see what we got going on with the paint show. All right, so we got this crazy endless winter game and we're going to paint it. We're going to play it this Friday, but first we got to paint it. So here we go. There are 5 miniatures that come with the retail version of this game, and that's what we're going to be painting today. I have primed them all black with this Citadel paint called Abaddon Black. So basically just get some brushy brush on there. I typically use these Eco Tools eyebrow brushes. You put some black paint on them. You paint black on these guys and then they become black. And we're going to show you from the beginning how to do the 2-toning priming method, which a lot of people are calling slap chop method nowadays, but it's really just putting 2 coats of dry brush on this thing and then putting color on top. And I hope that we can get it all done in a couple of hours or less than 2 hours if we can manage it. So what are we doing? Well, Endless Winter is a card deck building game where they're there you control and all sorts of other cool stuff. And they have these workers that you place, and you get 2 workers that are normal and 1 that's your chief. So these are 5 chiefs that you can choose for the in the game. And so what we're going to be doing is trying to match this guy to this guy color wise and whatnot, and we'll see what happens. So we got this Chief Chiselstone. There's that one. Then we got this guy who is Chief Tuskbreaker. Whoa. And then we got this guy who is Chief Firewolf, and he's got a little wolf there, which is pretty cute. So we'll get that guy going. And then there is Chief Looking Hand. So that's what Chief Looking Hand looks like. Get this guy going. And then finally there is Chief Thunderpaw. So you're right, Best of Star Trek. I was on the fence on this too. We'll talk a little bit about the game, and I played it twice now, and I actually really dig it. And that's why typically I don't do painting unless I actually like the game. Otherwise it's a waste of time. So I like to play the game first before painting. So what are we doing equipment wise? Well, I got these nice cool gloves. You don't need gloves because all these paints I deal with are acrylic paints, which are all water based, so they just wash off with soap and water. But I don't like to get crap on my hands, so I use these nitrile gloves. And we are first going to be doing what we call dry brushing. And we're going to dry brush 2 different colors. We're going to dry brush a gray color to be the mid-tone. And then we're going to dry brush a kind of whitish color. I like to use this eggshell white color called Wraithbone from Citadel. And then once we do that, we're going to make sure that the models are prepped to accept color. And then we'll do some of these contrast paints to add color to them. Should be pretty easy. So let's get to dry brushing, and I'll talk to Best at Star Trek a little bit about the game and my thoughts on it, because I do have some thoughts about it. So first thing we want to do, so we want to take a brush, and again, I want to anyone that is watching this that hasn't seen me before, I'm not any professional painter. A lot of people will say don't use a towel to dry brush. I say I don't need any crazy plastic palettes or things. I'm just fine doing a dry brush. I like the textured feel. Some people feel that when you dry brush using a paper towel, it gets a little bit too chalky looking, but I kind of like that chalky looking. So I'm going to show you how to do this dry brush. Then when we do the dry brush, I'll talk about the game. So let's get a closer in, and we see what we're going to do is we're going to grab this. I use this Administratum Gray from Citadel. Shake it up real good. And as you can see, I took a paper towel and I just folded it in fourths here, and we're going to Um, just dip brush into the pot, and then we're going to dry take the brush and dry it onto the paper towel. And you basically want to do this until it's not really thick, or there's a little bit. Some people will go more, some people will go less. I like to do it enough that it's just got enough on the bristles that it'll come off when you brush the figure. But if you have too much on there, it's going to be too heavy. So what I like to do is what I call the car wash method, where you end up starting to do like a kind of a motion like this. Always do a circular motion. I've noticed if you do up and down or side to side, what you're trying to do really is making sure that the paint ends up on the tops or the mountains, not the valleys. We want to keep this black in the valleys, so that way we're making sure that the shadows are deep, and whatever's on top or whatever's higher mountain wise is going to get this gray paint. Hey, Patrick's here. So I just kind of do this kind of circular motion, and I let the model come in, and you'll see that it'll start adding this gray tone to the model, just like that. And you just do that all around the model until you think that's good. So now one thing to keep in mind, I'm going to put my cheaters on here. Maybe shrink myself down so I'm not too big. One thing to keep in mind is you don't want to go too heavy on this, because this is really the mid-tone. A lot of times you get all excited that, oh, I can see the details now. This is so cool. But we're going to put another white highlight on top of this, so you want to just make sure that you're not going too heavy. I want to keep those really dark recesses dark. All right, so that's that one all grayed up. We're going to grab some more paint, try it off again, and do it again. All right, so here's my thoughts of the Endless Winter game. So first off, the reason I was on the fence about it, or the reason that I was interested in it, is that it's designed by the guy who designed Rurik Dawn of Kiev, which is one of my favorite games. His name's Stan Kretinsky. And I thought, man, he is a good designer, so obviously it should be a good game. But then when I saw that it's a table hog and there's all this sprawl to it, and it looks kind of like a mishmash of components, I just figured, it's probably going to be, I think like Bess was saying, on too long for what it is. And then the second part of it is I really hate this caveman theme. Like how many caveman themes do we really need in a game, right? So I just don't connect with the caveman theme. I don't get it. So, but the art on this is done by the Miko, which is the guy that does all the art for all the Garfield games and some other famous games. So the art looks cool, and these miniatures kind of are really great representations of the artwork. So I kind of dig it. So let me tell you about the gameplay then, because Beth says I backed out of Sky Mines at last second when I saw the card system. Yeah, that Sky Mines, I really love. That's one that's opposite, where I love the theme of it, and the game looks totally horrible. This one, I really love the game idea of it, but the theme I hated. So at the end of the day, we did play it, and it is Endless Winter is actually very fun. I think it's I may end up making my own playmat for it, because there's no reason that it needs to take up so much space. but at the end of the day, I think it has a very cool way that the game flows. I think there's definitely a lot of different things to think about. Like there's this whole terrain section of the board that you're trying to put area control with little villages and stuff. but there's also and we just played without the major expansions, just the base game so far. But there's a lot going on. There's tracks you can go up to give you multipliers for leftover resources you have, or give you multipliers for buried cards. You can bury cards and get points for them at the end of the game. So there's a lot of cool things to think about. But ultimately, I dig the card system. I'm not a big deck builder guy. I don't normally like deck builders, but this one was really cool. I don't know what it is about it. It just has a cool flow to it. I think that's what I like about, even if the game's too complicated, I don't mind playing complicated games as long as they have an easy flow to it. And this game is really not that complicated, but it looks complicated, but it actually has a really easy flow to it. And that's what I like about it. The other thing I like in games is what I like to call the Sophie's Choice. You always have and that comes down to a lot of times multi-use cards. So it's basically, I have this card and I can play it for this, or I can play it for something else. And in this game, there's an eclipse phase between each of the normal phases. And so when you play cards, you're deciding, do I play it for its action, or do I save it to play it for the eclipse phase and get the eclipse points for it, which is pretty cool. Oh, I'm still hovering on Mars. Yeah, I'm so on the fence with Alexander Pfister games because definitely there's a gamer pedigree to it. Like if you're almost like not a gamer if you don't like his games, but they all look so complicated or overtly complicated for what it is. So what I'm doing is just making sure the grays are showing through on these things. And then so when I put the white on it, there's still going to be a gradation effect, which is cool. All right, so I think that's all the gray that we need to do. So I'm going to just put that in the water. What are we doing here? There we go. I'm going to grab a different brush, same deal, one of these eyebrow brushes. Yeah, I think of all of them, I think Kanban EB would be the one I would want to try. I'm going to replace this with a brand new paper towel. And we're going to go on to our Wraithbone, is what this is called, Wraithbone. The thing with the Kanban, though, that turned me off was the whole solo mode. Or I think even during the game, there's like a boss that's running around every round, like judging how you did in each of the sections. And I just feel like I don't want to feel like I'm going to work when I play a game. And that felt a little bit too much. And maybe that's why I don't like the Neanderthal theme games or the caveman theme games, because it all feels like going to work. I'm hunting and gathering. Like, how much why can't I just have a vacation? All right, let's see. Is this going to be too much on the brush? I don't know. I kind of didn't dry it off as much as maybe I should have, so I'm just going to give it a little light brush and see where I'm at. And yeah, I don't think there's anything on that brush, so that's good. It's better to have less on the brush and then push the brush into it a little bit more to get the color out. Then you can control the color a little bit better. Oh, they have a nasty Sandra and a nice Sandra. That's good. The other thing is that Kanban is like $100, and it's like, unless you've got a ton of miniatures, I don't see spending $100 on any Euro game. I know that there's metal cars you can get, I think, that are add-ons, which is cool. Hey, Crickstar is here. All right, so we're just lightening this guy up. Again, just trying to make sure that the crevices are still really dark, the middles are mids, and I'm really just lightening up the tops. I tend to go lighter, especially when the art is cartoony like this. If you let these things be too dark, then they become too moody, and you won't really get some nice bright colors out of it. So let's see. This is going pretty good. And you notice it's always a circular motion. I do it kind of quick, but if I just did this, it would maybe hit the wrong places or maybe get stuck in a crevice. And then if I fill white into the crevice, I've defeated the whole point of doing the dry brush, because I want to still keep some of the blackness in the crevices. Yeah, I was telling everybody before everyone else got on that, yes, I typically will only paint the miniatures if I like the game. So spoiler alert, I like the game. Who knows if I'll like it after multiple sessions, but we'll see. And Crickstar says Endless One is a pretty good game. Played a few on Tabletop Simulator. Game plan this weekend. Yep, I think it's I don't think you need any of the expansions is the thing, though. I did get all the retail expansions. The Ancestor expansion seemed to be the one that you definitely would like to have for more variety. But even then, it seems, I just read the rules, and you're just replacing cards with other cards. It's not like you're adding new cards. So it just is for variability, but it doesn't really change the game at all. The other modules add more complexity to the game, but I don't think you need it to be anymore. I don't know that my table can fit any more modules on it, so I'm not sure I'm so sold on the expansions. But the game itself is really cool. Yeah, Best says the problem with the Euros is they're good for 2-3 plays, then ugh. Yeah. Well, I think the trouble is, and here's the thing. Here's my thesis on Euro games, is that if they're so mechanical that you can figure out the trick to win every time, that's when they become ugh after 2 or 3 plays. And a lot of Euro game players feel that adding variability, either by adding expansions or modules or different cards, or the major trick with Euro games is here's a bunch of tiles that are random, so the worker placement spaces maybe are randomized every game or something. But that doesn't really give you a way that you can have a different strategy each game. I think that's the key. If you can find out that you can win a whole bunch of different ways without having one super cheater way, that's how a game has longevity, not with expansions and modules, but with a depth to it that you can do different strategies each game and make each game different that way. Yeah, and it's tricky because Euro games don't have random. They are all predetermined set pathways to play. Yep. But there's still a lot of different ways you can create choices that are interesting without having them to be only one choice. All right, one more to go, and then we're on to the colors. Yeah, Best of Star Trek. Tell me more about Boone Lake, because as everyone knows, the Black Friday sales are coming up. Boone Lake is on Black Friday sale on Fun Again Games right now for $40. Funagain.com. They're having a Black Friday sale right now. And so I'm so tempted to get it for $40, but it just doesn't. I don't know. There's still something missing about it to me that it feels like it would be dumb, or maybe not dumb, but boring. Yeah, it seems like the action mechanism is neat, but it would get boring after a while. Well, yes, there's that Fire and Stone game. That Fire and Stone game originally looks like one of those old DVG games that are it's like a war game with chits. And so I was definitely not interested in it at the beginning because it looked like a war game that I just don't get into that stuff. All right, so I got all my highlights done now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure anywhere that there's flesh, I want it to be really light. So I'm going to kind of super lighten up anything that I think is where I'm going to put flesh. So definitely faces, I want to brighten up, and arms. And again, we'll fix it. I'll add more to it later, but I just want to make sure that these things are going to be cool to take some color. If you go too much, though, you'll completely lose all your definition. So you just want to be careful. Yeah. So best you're talking Boone Lake is an instant buy for you, right? Then I should definitely pick it up. If anything, I like to pick up games just to try out the mechanisms. Even if I think the game's not going to be good, if it has an interesting mechanism, I might get it just to try it out. Yeah, Canvas is a good game. Canvas is our go-to gateway game for non-gamers when non-gamers come over. Pretty much that one is the most popular one now. Everyone can get it very easily. It's got really cool interchangeable cards. The Monolith one, I was on the fence about. I don't like those spatial puzzle games. All right. Okay, I think these are just about lightened up where we need them to be. One last lady here. I want her face to be a little bit more, her arms to be a little bit more. Okay. All right, cool. These guys are highlighted. That is what I call the two-tone priming method. Other people online call it slap chop method now, but I don't know why they call it that. I hate that. All right, and that is, I'm going to put on some new gloves now because those gloves have white paint all over them, and I don't want to get white paint on anything. All right. Best says, don't get Monolith. It's kind of light. Yeah, that's what I figured. Believe it or not, I have never to date played Concordia yet. Everyone says you need to play Concordia. I need to play Concordia. And I'm afraid at this point now, it's one of those games like Catan where it's so old now that it was innovative at its time, but there's so many better, newer games out now that do those mechanisms better that It may not be so good for me anymore. I don't know. But I guess I should try it just to try it. All right, cool. Let's start looking at these people and making some decisions of what we want to do. So let me start with this chick right here. We have a get my reference cards out again. Let's see, who are we doing? All right, so for reference, I've got this from the game. That's this chick. So she's holding, it looks like an idol or something. So that's actually going to be something that's kind of grayish, maybe. Maybe she's like some shaman or something. All right, and then we also have this came with the Kickstarter to give us some idea of how they painted it. So they gave her, so what I'm looking for is just the colors, right? So she's definitely got a color of the hood, a color of the shirt, and a color of the pants. And then there's some darker in the middle. And then there's also her hair. So we don't want to go too complicated on this. If it gets too busy, it'll be too much. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to throw some flesh on all these guys. So I use Gluman flesh. Let me just flesh them all to where I need them to be. I'm just going to use this number 1 size brush here. I like to use these brushes when I use contrast paints too, because they can soak up the paint a lot pretty well. All right, and we're just going to put some flesh color on the face. Pretty sure this is a girl. And we're going to put some flesh color on the arms. Like so. And there's a hand here, like so. Hand goes over here. Yes and yes. And then we're going to put some flesh on this arm, this hand, these fingers. There you go. All right, then I think these legs looks like flesh too, because yes, they're caveman. Even though they're wearing pelts, they're still have some exposed legs here in the cold. All right, cool. So that's flesh. Let me go flesh all of them and then go back to some colors. I like to try to not have to change color pots that often if I can help it. Let's try to do all of the same color at once and then go on to the next one. And let's see, this guy is definitely wearing gloves. So he doesn't have any other flesh but his face. All right, this guy definitely has a fleshy head. Flesh head, ears. Yes, I'm not a fan of the legacy games at all. Yeah, this guy's got gloves on too. But I always wanted to try Clank. I heard that the Clank Catacombs is out now. I hope. Yeah, that's the Clank with the dungeon tiles. I'm all about that. I think I would like to try that. I just saw some message that it's out for retail now, so you can get it. This guy also has some flesh hands. He's got, yeah, a lot of times it's hard to tell what needs to get painted until you actually put the paint on. But we know he's got some exposed flesh here. He's got some hands here and hands here. Sorry if I'm not in the chat so much, but I'm trying to also get these things done pretty quick. Yeah, this guy definitely has legs also. All right, cool. And then finally, we got Mama. She definitely needs some fleshy face. She's got arms. Yep, and I think her arms are exposed. So we will do this, we will do this. You can kind of see on here how I left some of these arm areas a little dark, so the flesh got really dark here. It almost looks like burnt bacon. But we're going to put flesh layer paint on top of that, so I'm not too worried about it. This is just our base layer for flesh. All right, cool. Everybody is a-fleshed. All right, now it's time to start thinking about some colors. Let's go back to our lady over here. And we are going to do a couple of things. First, we're going to use a gray color for these feather things. So I have this really good, yes, Griff Charger Gray. Well, before we do that, let me do the browns. So we're going to use our good old Agarose Dunes is my go-to color for things like sand. I also say Bosque, things like that. That's going to be good for these shoulder areas. So I'm going to do like that. All right, she also has black here. I'm not worried about that for right now. So we're going to do this kind of color for the shoulder areas. And that goes to this too. I guess it's kind of like a, oh, I see. It's like a saber-tooth cat. A little bit. So that's why this color is great, because the little yellowish tone to it, it makes you think of a tiger. All right. What I do is just I try to put it on as light as possible. All right, that's our Agrostoons. Now we have some. I'm going to go to a lighter brown, which is what I like to use is this Skeleton Horde color. I use this for the top here. It's just a lighter brown. Right, there we go. And I'm also going to use it for nope. You know what? That's too light. So now we're going to go to our darker brown. All of these guys are very much boring brown colors, but we'll figure out how it goes. Our Gorgonta fur is standard kind of fur color. It's good for fur or wood even. And so, yeah, we're first going to use this for the staff. This is a really great kind of woodish color. Put that on the staff, make it wood. Piece of cake. I'm just making up these colors as I go. I don't really know what to do. We'll see. All right, now there are these bandage wrap things. No, I shouldn't have made it so complicated. I should make those. But anyway, yeah. So these things on the hoods should be brown. On the horns. It's like leather straps. And the centerpiece is brown. This is where it's tricky. I definitely just want the center to be brown, but I want those necklaces and stuff to stand out. Just basically got like a little brown tunic, I guess. So I'll make sure that's brown in there. All right, cool. Cool, and then there's a little brown strap here. All right, and then I think this is brown too. Might as well just keep it all brown. Little strap on the spear. Cool beans. Hey, Red Hood's here. All right. Now we're just going to do a little gray for her hair. Where is my gray? Gray is here. It's the good old basilicum gray. All right, I'm just going to get her hair to be gray. It's really black, but what I've learned is when you there's a black called Black Templar that It's black, but it is so black that it's really hard to take it back. So it's better to keep this. Just put a couple of coats of the gray on it and you'll get a nice darkness to it without it being completely black. All right, cool. Let me go back to my dunes because I missed a spot. Right, Joe. And then might as well use it for these bandages too. Gross Dunes is the shiznit. All right, cool. One more bit. This actually is gray still, so we need to go back to the gray. It's funny, you don't see details until you actually start painting on it, and then you're like, oh, that's a thing over there. I see. This is actually going to be a silver piece, but silver looks better when you first put gray on it. All right, cool. And then we notice that this is actually some kind of a, I think it's going to be a silver idol, so we might as well just make this whole thing gray, and then we will silver it. I think it's supposed to be a stone idol, but I like the idea of it being silver. All right, so we're just gonna, I put it a little too heavy maybe, but if you get too much on there pooling, just dry off the brush so the brush has nothing on it, and then when you, it's like a sponge, you can sponge it right up. All right, cool. And then I think this also needs to be a little bit gray for the spearhead. Cool. Let me go back to our brown. I was going to Costco, but damn, change of plans, traffic to Costco. Geez. Yep. It's better to just hang out and be with me. All right, we're going to go back to Gorgrunt to Fur. And you know what? We're 44 minutes in, so I've already spent too much time on this. So let's just wrap it up already, dude. Make sure that those are there. And I want to make sure. Darken these a little bit. And there was someplace, oh yeah, the straps here. All right. Piece of cake. I think one thing I want to do now is just get some kind of a bluish color for the feathers. I do have this Gryph-Charger gray, which is kind of bluish gray. Get these little feathers here. probably maybe a little too dark, but see how it goes. All right, cool. I think we want to leave this white and these feet white, but I am going to fix the base real quick by just using the normal Abaddon black. This is a base black color, because you can see that the bottom of this base looks like ass. So I'm just going to blacken it up again. One thing I might want to try to do, I have this snow stuff. It's like they call it flock. I've never used it. I've been scared to use it. So this might be a good, fun time to try to use it. All right, cool. So here's our little dude. We're going to come back in a minute to lighten up the flesh and maybe put some silver on here, but we'll come back to you later. All right, I think a lot of these guys have the same kind of thing going on, the same kind of browns. So let's go with my favorite guy, the guy that has the wolf. Now this is interesting. The card for this shows the wolf is gray, but the reference photo shows the wolf is like a brown colored. So I think I'm going to do the brown colored dog, because gray just ends up being very boring. All right, so we're going to do our America. All right, we're going to do our Agros Dunes and paint some dog. I think this will be a good, or maybe it won't be. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, no, you know what? I think I want a more yellow for the dog. We would like a more yellow for that dog. So we're not going to do Agros Dunes on that guy. Let's do this. First, let me get his hair done. He's got a lot of black hair, so we're going to go do our gray. And this is all of his hair. Bloop, 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 bloop. Reddit says, I used to do bases for the Flames of War soldiers, brush some Elmer's glue, submerge the base in the texture and shake. Yep. I think what they say to do is take the Elmer glue and mix it with the snow flock so that it becomes like a goo. And then you just apply the gooey snow stuff on there. All right, so this guy's got gray hair. Got his gray hair, right? He's got a lot of brown, so let's go back to the brown. Grunt of fur, here we come. All right, it looks like this whole top thing is brown. Sort of his Robin Hoodie tunic. All right. And he's also, these little strapper things are going to be brown for sure. These are brown. This is brown. We're going to make his little bow brown. And I have a leather color I can put on some of those straps to make it a little bit differentiated. But for the most part, we want that to be brown, right? All right. That's just his top part is brown. Cool, on the top's brown. Let me go back to the gray really quick. Again, a lot of times it's not till you get this stuff on here that you realize that you missed a spot. So yeah, he's got some more gray hair here. Some more gray hair here. All right. Now, gloves wise, he's got leather gloves, so we can go back to the. Oh, this might be a good idea for me to do my leather. Hey, Jerry's here. All right, this is our go-to leather color. It's called Snakebite. Snakebite, I think. Yeah, Snakebite. Snakebite leather. Because the thing is, we got brown with a brown with a brown. You want to break this up as much as you can. So we're going to put, oops. I'm going to make his gloves like this. It's just this different color brown. And I'm also going to put that on the straps. Just add some variation. And this strap here, I'll use this leather, and then it's a little bit different than the brown that's there, not too bad. All right. And he's got straps on this bow holder or arrow. What do they call it? Quiver? Quiver. Cool. Good, good, good. He's also got a little leather pouch. Right jaw. Leather pouch me, bro. And a little leather belt. Get that going. All right, there we go. Different colored gloves. We got bow, some other stuff going on. Quiver. All right, let's go back to the darker brown. And we definitely want to put it on this torch. Definitely want to put it on this quiver. All right. All right, we also got something over here. Let's get that. This is also a belt. All right, cool. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. It looks like a Neanderthal. Okay, there's just two more things we want to do on this. We want to just give him a little brownish tint to this, the rest of this coat, and then we want to give him the flame and the dog. Beth says, if I could play any game of choice on a given night, what would you play like a favorite? That is a great question. When I first started doing solo gaming, the Circadian's First Light, I don't know what it is about that game, but it is my favorite game. I think, I don't know if it's because I love the theme so much. At the end of the day, I shouldn't like it. It's definitely on paper, it should be everything that I don't like it's efficiency puzzle where you're trying to figure out how to make the best of your stuff before the clock runs out. But there's just something about that game that I could just play. I mean, it's not even easy to set up, but there's just something about it that I can just play it all the time. I used to play it every Sunday. It used to be a ritual for me to play it every Sunday. And I think that's, again, one of those cool things where it doesn't need expansions. It doesn't need variability. But you can still play it different every time. And there's different strategies you can go after every time. There's different ways you can do it. But then also it just feels so thematic, like you're actually on a planet negotiating with aliens. So that's what I like about it. It's pretty cool. So I definitely could play that game all the time. Now, games to play with everybody else, like a multiplayer game, that's mainly going to be dependent on the crowd. I typically prefer area control games. So, and I prefer aggressive area control games. So that's why, like, Kemet is probably my favorite multiplayer game. But like my favorite multiplayer Euro game is probably Rurik. And Rurik is made by the guy who makes this Endless Winter game. So you can kind of see why I like Endless Winter. All right, cool. Let's just do his little flame. And here's my trick for flames. You just use a little color called iodine yellow. Hey, Jerry. So we are currently painting Endless Winter miniatures. Best asked me what my favorite game was, and I told him my favorite solo game is Circadian's First Light. And my favorite multiplayer game is probably Kemet. But it's hard to get people to play Kemet because there's so much to read. So then probably a second favorite would be the Dune Imperium, because that game is great, but easier for people to pick up. Okay, whoops. All right, so that's the beginnings of our flame. And now let's get this dog. So the dog also is kind of this yellowish color. So let's get him going. So I definitely want the dog's paws to still be white. And the underbelly should be white. This is probably too yellow, so we're going to put some brown on top of it. I just wanted it to have more of a yellowish tone to start. All right, so now let's go. The greatest part about Dune Imperium multiplayer is that you can still play with the bots. So, and I like the 2-player game. Because there's always a bot in there screwing things up, so it's not like it's ever restricted or anything. So what I'm doing now is I'm just using Agros Dunes to kind of brown up this yellow to make it not so yellow. But I don't want to take away from the yellow too, so I'm just being very careful. It's almost like a dry brush. Just dry brushing it gives it a little texture. Cool. All right, one last thing is I want to color his little arrow tips. As you can see, and this is a lesson to all board game artists. Don't make boring colors. Like, who wants to paint gray arrow tips? Nobody cares about gray arrow tips. All right, you need to have something that's colorful. If I cared about the Neanderthal theme, I might care about what would a Neanderthal arrow tip actually look like. But for me, I just figure red is a pretty standard arrow tip color, so I just put some red on there. All right, cool. We got the dog, we got the flame, we got the dude. He's got a pouch. His bow is okay. His stuff is okay. We might do some lightening up later, but for now, I think that covers it. Haha. That's right, best. Arrows tipped with frog poison. Right? I'd be interested to know, like, what did they use? Who knows? All right, who's next? Who's ready to get their head cut off? Let's see. I did wolf guy done. This guy done. All right. So yeah, we got this guy holding some rock with an eye in it. Let's get a gray going for his hair. I'm going a little bit slower on these models than normal because there's only 5 of them, and so I can take my time a little bit, but I still don't want to take forever. I want to try to be done with all of these in 2 hours if I can help it, and we're already at an hour. But we got 2 down in an hour, so that's pretty good. This guy kind of looks like Janice from the Muppets. All right, there's that one. What else has he got going on? I think we are going to Aggros Dunes this guy's little pelt. Hey. Thanks, Pat. And thanks, everybody, for hanging out. It's always less boring when I don't have to do this myself. All right, Dunes me, bro. We want this pelt to be Dunes color. I might brown it up a little bit more later, but all right, and this definitely looks like it flows down. This bag is pretty cool looking. All right, that goes there, that goes there. That means that this all comes down like this. It's so funny to try to figure out where the color goes. All right. I think we're good there. All right, cool. We are now going to just do a really quick skeleton horde to get a lighter brown. Beth says, hitting golf balls at the range lately. Oh man, I'm jealous. I haven't played golf in years. So I'm glad you're able to get out. All right. Yes and yes. All right, cool. Let's just get some. Let's go to the brownie brown. Oh, wait. I forgot. This is a skeleton. This thing on the end of his staff. So it should be skeleton colored. Of course. Of course. Sometimes you just don't think straight. All right. Right? It's so funny. We don't live that close to Buffalo, but it's still enough to be on the news, like everywhere, that Buffalo got so much snow. All right, we got brown, and brown is going to be our staff. The staff goes up like so, and it comes out like this. And this goes like that. And it goes like that. And it goes like that. And it goes over there. And there we go with that. All right, cool. What else does he have brown on this bad boy? Nothing so much. We're going to go to our leather. I'm going to do the leather bag. Hey, Mike Corner's here. So we got a busy week this week. We're doing tomorrow. We're actually going to do a show with Diana of Eternal Palace. Have you guys ever played Eternal Palace? That's another impulse buy that I got online and knew nothing about it. And I played it solo and I hated it. And then I played it with Diana and I liked it. So, but I can see it's one of those games that's not going to last very long, I don't think. But it'll be interesting to see how it goes. So Tuesday, we're going to do that Eternal Palace. So hopefully you guys like that. And then Friday, we're going to do this Endless Winter game. If I can get it all painted in time. Good news is, this is all there is to paint. Just these 5 figures. If I want to get crazy, I can... Also, there's little huts you can paint. So I might end up painting the little huts if I have some time. But other than that, I don't think I need to get crazy. All right, cool. I'm just going to make this stone gray. And let me blacken up the base. Jerry, we are playing the Endless Winter on Friday. Friday night show will be Endless Winter. It'll be a good one, I think. It's one of those that Diana sort of liked it when we played the first playthrough, but I have a feeling she might hate it during the game. But I really liked it, so we'll see how it goes. Oops, sorry guys, I'm just cleaning up the base here. This guy. All right. Let me clean the base of this guy too. I forgot. We forgot about him. If we get crazy, I might try to add snow on these guys later. We'll see. I'm just trying to get these guys to the table. All right, cool. All right, cool. Next, we've just got 2 figures left, and we're at an hour 14. Well, let's see. What do we got? We got this big Mamba Jamba. Looking like kind of a gray wolf headdress with a brown and a brown stick staff. All right, so this one should just be straight up brown, otherwise known as Gorg Grunta Fur. All right, and then we know that this is brown. See, I know I screwed up already. This is actually going to be flesh colored, so we need to put flesh there. All right, so this is all going to be brown. Brown, brown, brown. That means this is brown. So yeah, Eternal Palace on Tuesday, Endless Winter on Friday. We might do some super sneaky Thanksgiving show. I don't know. Keep in touch. I don't know. What are you guys doing for Thanksgiving? Are you open? Would you need a show on Thanksgiving Day, or are you too much with family and football and things? Let us know, and I'll figure out if it's worth our time. Ooh, Unconscious Mind, yay or nay? Good one, Best of Star Trek. I love the art of it. I love the theme of it. I don't know that it's going to play very well. It looks kind of too complicated. But so that's what I think I'm going to have to do on Tabletop Simulator first, just to see. But the art looks awesome, and definitely the theme is right up my alley. I like those interesting themes when it's like, you know, you're friends with Sigmund Freud, and you guys are creating a new thing. All right, let's do black to get her black hair, and then we can separate that from the wolf pelt thing. So again, we go to our gray. Yeah, it's funny. We're going to PAX Unplugged the week after, December 3rd. And I don't know what... I don't know if there's any new games out that I really care about that's going to be there. That's pretty much everything came out already. Or at least that came out for this year. All right, let's do some leather. Oh, it's funny you should mention Lacrimosa Best of Star Trek, because I'm looking at it right now, and we're going to play it next week. So you will get to see whether it actually bombed or not. But from what I've seen, it's one of those where the rule book is horrible. Like, I tried reading it, and I'm like, oh, I had to watch a playthrough video of it. I couldn't get through it. But the concept looks cool. It's another one of those that I bought for the mechanisms. I thought, man, these mechanisms look so cool. And it still looks kind of cool. I just don't... I don't know. We'll see how it goes. All right, we're going to do our... for this wolf pelt, I'm going to try... here's my Gryph-Charger Gray. I like this because it's like gray, but it's got like a little bluish hue to it. All right. And this is a tricky one because I don't want this gray to be too much. I want it to be still pretty light. On the back end, I can put a little bit more to make that blue come out. These little gauntlets are also blue. Am I blue? key with any of these miniatures, you want to keep it to just a couple of colors. Don't get too busy if it's otherwise. Okay, let me just do some bone for the little bones. Again, we're back to Skeleton Horde as my go-to bone color. All these little horns. All right, cool. I forgot she needs flesh on her arm, so let's go back to our flesh color real quick. Do I get a magazine that shows me the upcoming games? I don't actually. There is a game magazine, but it pretty much, like, anything that in there is ready to be ordered. So then it's kind of, you already know about it from YouTube and stuff. So I mainly use YouTube as an information channel. All right. Just a couple more things to do with this beauty. We definitely want to. Oh, I want to put a blue feather on this thing. So let me get some blue. I'm going to try using this Glacier contrast paint. It's so super light that it barely. It's not really gonna. This is typically used for like ice and stuff like that, but I think it makes it more natural than just slapping a blue on here. So we'll see how that goes. All right. That's it for her, except for the highlights. So let's go on to the next dude. Last dude. Hour 24. Then we're just going to do some touch-ups. All right. She's done. He's done. Oh, yeah. So we just have this evil dude now. And naturally, oh, wouldn't it be great to color this guy? Lots of cool colors. No, he's gray with gray and some more gray. Isn't that super interesting? Jerks. All right. Well, first things first, I guess, is I don't know. If we're going to keep him gray, then maybe I'll make the bones more bone colored. So let's just start with making the bones bone colored. All right. its bones that are bone colored. Right. The cool part is this looks like a squirrel pelt of some sort. So even though it shouldn't really be gray. So I'm gonna Agarose Dunes this. We'll just do it ever so lightly, but hopefully that'll add just a twinge of color to this thing. All right, just lighten it up. Yeah, I think that lines it up a little bit. And then he's got the stuff underneath is like dark black almost. So I think his hair is fine the way it is because he's got gray hair. But these gloves are going to be black. So let's go to gray. Gray. And, oh yes, we got a little axe here. So axes are always good to put gray because then we'll silver them later. Definitely want his hands to be very dark. Yeah, looks like these gloves are almost black. And then his kind of shirt. Gotcha. So these other gloves are black. And then I guess his shoes will be black too. All right, and then the rest of this is going to be like a darker brown. So maybe a leather. So let's do leather on him. So weird. You just got to make it up as you go sometimes. See what happens. I just don't like to have boring gray models. All right, so let's see what we got. Is this leather going to be cool? Definitely breaks it up so you can tell the difference between his shirt and the squirrel pelt. All right, cool. And then maybe, oh yeah, and we got the leather now, so might as well do these leather straps while we're at it. That's what I love about this shading method is that you don't really have to worry about staining the lines. The contrast paint will just find the lines, and it's pretty easy to paint on. Anybody can do it. All right, cool. Then I think these, yeah, these things just need to be grayed. Let's just do some gray there. Is there anything else I care about here that is leather colored? Don't think so. Nope. So yeah, let's just get some more gray for his pants, and I think we're done. All right, cool. Oh, the tips of these, the back sides of these bones didn't get any bone color. We can fix that with some skeleton horde. I should probably take the price tags off of these paints so you guys don't see how much I got to pay for them. All right, cool. There's a surly old man. Oh yeah, we need to get a brown for the axe handle. See, I always forget something. There's always something. Gorgrunta fur is our wood color. Remember it. Wood me, bro. All right. There he is. All right, so first thing I want to do now, I'm going to put away all these browns. Don't need them anymore. Here's my gross dudes. Here's my Guillemot flesh. Here's my skeleton horde. Here's my leather. Here's my fur. All right, so those are all my brown colors. And what I want to do is I want to get a flesh touch up for these guys. So I like to use the layer paint called Keesley Flesh. And to shake it up. Shake it up. All right, and what are we gonna do? We are going to just touch up their skin a little bit, give them a little bit of some highlight. So this guy only has skin on his face, so all we care about is, giving him a little bit of a cheek update, maybe some nose update, maybe some forehead update. Maybe some ears. All right, he's good to go. Mike says, do I ever seal my minis? And the answer is no. I don't actually. I probably should seal them. The trouble with sealing your minis is that you want like a matte varnish normally. Because the trouble with sealing any of these varnishes have a gloss to them. So you're going to start getting a shine that you don't want. I mean, these contrast paints already are pretty shiny. And if it gets too shiny, then it ends up looking like, it's covered in saran wrap or something. You don't want that. So I try to keep it as less shiny as I can. And that means keeping things as matte finish as I can. Typically, the only good matte varnishes out there are sprays. And since I live in a one-bedroom apartment, I really can't spray paint anything. And I really haven't found a good kind of just bottle matte varnish that looks good. So typically, it only matters if you're going to be touching the miniatures a lot. Like if I was going to have this in a library where a lot of people are going to use the games all the time, then they will definitely dull over time. But in this case, I'm not worried about it. Okay, that's flush number 2. Let's do some flush number 3. What do you got, buddy? You got a big nose. You got some cheeks. You got a chin. All right, hands. Now I have noticed when I go to some of my miniatures I painted a long time ago, they do dull over time. So that's why it's probably not a bad idea to finish them. I just haven't found something good, a good matte varnish that actually works well for me. So. All right, you got neat knobby knees. A lot of times you're just kind of almost dry brushing it on because you just want to highlight it, but you don't need it to be like glopped on. All right. Big space that get missed often is under the chin too. This guy's got a lot of divots in his face. Let's suck up the paint. Oops, that was too much. All right, what do we got? Mama. Do. The tricky part with these faces is you want to just highlight the top parts, but you also want to keep it smooth. So if you do it too much, though, it'll get rid of the shadows that you've strategically placed. So you don't want too much. So you can already see the difference between that arm and this arm. This is just the contrast flesh on top of a really dark area. So we definitely want to line that up with this flesh paint. Now, a lot of people might say, why don't you just put this flesh paint on in the first place? Well, this is a layer paint, so it's going to really reflect. It's sort of like a transparency film. So even though it looks like this paint's going on pretty thick, it's actually still showing what's underneath pretty well. So it's pulling in that flesh dark tone, and we're just putting a light tone right on top. Ends up really looking like flesh, which is cool. All right. That's her, and then finally this dude. Kind of like him the way he is, but I'm just going to give him a little bit of a bump to the nose, a little bit of a bump to the brow and the head. All right, cool. That's all of our fleshy bits. Let's see who needs some metal stuff. Where's my metal? Heavy metal. Here's my Runefang steel. Oh. All right, let's see. So I think I was going to make this lady's kind of idol kind of metallic. So we're just going to sort of dry brush it. Put some metal bits on her hair clips. Maybe she has a little metal something over there. Maybe this is metal a little bit. And this spear tip is definitely metal. All right, cool. Who else? Does this guy need any metal? Well, maybe not, but I do kind of also like to use metallics as kind of a highlight on blacks to give it a little bit of a pop. Just try and brush that a little bit, because otherwise it's super dark. I want that to be more like a gray. All right, does this lady have any metal? Probably not. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do metal for her hair clips. Just give something to break up all that brown. Because there's a lot of brown. even put a little metal on this rock, even though it's a rock. Makes it like reflect a little bit better. All right, how about this guy? You got any metal on you? He's definitely holding a rock. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put little metal clips here. And these are definitely bones in his hair, so I'm gonna come back and do white on this stuff. All right, and then what do you got? Probably metal here on his bag. Maybe some metal here. Here. Just put a little metal to break that stuff up. All right, cool. That's all the metal. Let me go back to my 147. We're so close. Here's our skeleton horde. Because I definitely want to touch up these areas that have bones. I just want to make sure they're all covered. Thought I saw some areas that I missed. All right, I think it's gonna need some boneage. I like these bones to be white, but not super white. They should be bone colored for sure. What else we got here? All right, cool. Then we're gonna go for white. White. What do we got? We got white scar as a layer paint. I'm just going to use this because there are some little bone things that I want to pop out. Especially on this little lady. She's got like little bones here. That's a bone. That's a bone. This is a bone necklace. All right, cool. This guy's got bones in his hair, so there's dot here. Right. And then I definitely want to get these guys' eyes lit up too, because a lot of them have these white eyes. A little bit of a he definitely has no eyes. We like his eyes dark. lights are looking good there. He's cool. This guy needs some white eyes. Until he screwed that up. He's got 2 eyes. Whoa! Okay, we got a trusty X-Acto knife. All right. Blah, 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 blah. What else are we going to keep here? All right. Oh, I forgot I need to silver this guy's axe. Why didn't we do that? I don't know. But I definitely also want this little squirrel to have eyes. All right, and then does this guy need eyes? Oh, this guy's had such tiny eyes. I am afraid. You know what? Fuck it. I'm leaving this guy. I'm not gonna try to get a little brush in there. Oh, but I definitely want to put eyes in the little dog. Right. This is X-Acto knife to the rescue. All right, cool. Let me just I have a better yellow. This new cool kind of Imperial Fist yellow. Can I use that on just the tip of this flame? Make it a little bit brighter. All right, let's go back to the silver. I gotta give that axe guy his axe. And I think we're done. over me, bro. Runefang Steel to the rescue. All right. Then let's fix the base. And I think we're done, dudes. I think we're about done. I'm just going to put some black on this. I think we're at the 2 hours, so I'm not going to get crazy and do snow, but we'll figure out snow later time, I think. All right, cool. Is everybody base clean? I think so. He's done. He's cool. He's cool. He's cool. All right, cool. Let's take some last looks. And I think we are done, my friends. I'm taking my gloves off. And we are going to take a look. So first, we got this guy. Oh, he did not come out pretty. He came out pretty good. Yeah, I dig him. What do you guys think? It's better than just this black and gray. And it's kind of real world. People would be wearing leather, not just black stuff. So it's pretty cool. Who else we got? This guy. Oh, this guy has like a white beard. I need to put a white beard on him. Maybe we'll do that later. And also he's got this bone kind of looks gold. Maybe there should be some gold highlight on that. We'll figure out. Otherwise, I think he looks pretty sweet. All right. Here's Milady, and she. Oh, she's got like a dagger there, but there's not a dagger. Oh, there is a dagger. I missed that dagger in the. See that? You don't notice until later. But other than that, I think she looks pretty cool. I might just do a little cleanup on these later, but for now, this is a good thing to get you done in 2 hours. And here's what's his name? Chief Chiselstone. Yeah, I think she came out okay. And then finally, you got Chief Firewolf. Oh, yeah, I dig it. Oh, the dog's tongue is out. I need to make that dog's tongue red. Oh, I gotta do that right now. Hold the phone. I have a new color just for this. The Doomfire Magenta. This is really like a pink tongue color. forgot I need that. Dogs' noses are black, people. Dogs' noses are black. So this is the one time I would use the very dark, very black Templar. There you go. That makes that guy better. Let me see if I can't put a little dot in his eye. There he is. I dig that little guy. All right, cool. I think that's everybody. So 5 miniatures comes with the retail game of. Oops. Comes with the retail game of Endless Winter, and we are going to. We did this in 1 hour, and basically, the only thing we did prep wise was painted them black. Other than that, let me put them out like this so we can show them. So there it is. 5 figures come with the retail version of Endless Winter game. And we painted them in exactly 2 hours, including all my jib-jabbering. And they were just painted black to start. So there you have it. Well, where am I? There it is. It can be done. Anybody can paint 5 miniatures in 2 hours. And, maybe a couple of more touch-ups I'll do on these, but for the most part, they're pretty much done. And ready to play on Friday. And I hope everyone will watch us play on Friday because that'll be pretty fun. I think that's it for me, guys. I hope everyone else had a good time. Hope everyone else is painting, or hopefully this helps you in your painting journey. And that's it for me. So, tomorrow, watch us play Eternal Palace. Friday, we're going to play this game with these miniatures. And other than that, have a great night, everybody. I'll talk to you soon.